Where in the world, where would that be? If you drive any car, what would it look like? All of the things that you can think about in your life, if you were in the driver's seat and you're the producer of your own movie, how would the outcome look? How would it be? And I'm going to talk about opportunity. And the reason I'm going to talk about opportunity here is opportunity is necessary in order to facilitate change in your life. I also want to point out one of the most, I think, I don't really know exactly how to say it, but I think one of the biggest success secrets is that success leaves clues. And if you can find what other people have done to become successful, in many cases, ultra successful, in most cases, if you repeat that same process, your results are going to be very similar. And so, what I'm going to talk about is I'm going to tell you a little story about what's happened over the last 7 months that has helped take some people from $0 a month to around $100,000 a month. And what we're doing 3 short weeks from now, and the opportunity you have to repeat history because we now have an exact model that we know that works. So let's get into this really quick. We're calling this the Freedom Run because we're kicking this off on the 250th anniversary of the United States of America from 1776 to 2026 on the 4th of July. But I'm going to tell you how you can literally set yourself up for freedom between now, June 15th, and a few weeks from now, the 4th of July. I know it sounds crazy, but we did this same thing just about 7 months ago in November. And so we have an exact game plan that we can show you. And here's what set it up. There's one thing in business that's extremely important, and it's called timing. And so what we're going to be talking about, we're going to be talking a little bit about a product that has made this all possible. And then we're going to talk a little bit about a system that is proven, and anybody can do it regardless of your background, your skill set, or your experience. This is something that literally, if you can follow directions 1 to 2 hours a day, I'd say about 80 to 90% is literally copy and paste. You can succeed with what we're putting together. But I doubt that there's many of you, if you're paying any attention at all to social media, to TV, to commercials, seeing people like Serena Williams, the Kardashians, literally hundreds and hundreds of the top celebrities talking about GLP-1. It's traded the number one selling pharmaceutical in the world. And we have a very unique opportunity to talk about this, but just so you have an idea of what makes this such a unique opportunity and so big, the GLP-1 industry in 2025 did approximately 132 to 140 billion dollars in sales. That was a pharmaceutical that you had to go to a doctor, you had to get some tests done, and you had to get it prescribed. And if you didn't have insurance to help cover it, it cost well over $1,000 per month. So I want to keep that in mind a little bit. So this wasn't general public all over the world that had access to these GLP-1s. Still 140 billion, largest pharmaceutical in the entire world. To put some perspective to this, Adderall did about 20 billion. Viagra, which you see commercials on all day long, especially on the weekends, sporting events and stuff like that, did 8 billion. So you're talking about something, 15 to 20 times bigger than that. And that's just the pharmaceutical side. There's also a multi-billion dollar research side, with research peptides being sold to tens of millions, hundreds of millions of people worldwide. Again, hundreds of dollars or more. And this is expected just in the next 3 to 4 years to double or triple and get up into about 260 billion to 334 billion. It is massive. Now let me tell you a little bit about our story. November 11th of 2025, we put the product up for sale. We put up 5,000 bottles of 100% all natural, not only GLP-1, something that does not even exist in the pharmaceutical world at this point and is proven through studies to be far superior. We're talking about 3 different GLP pathways, and I'll talk about that here in just a minute. Again, nothing like this has ever happened. But we launched the product in over 80 countries. we put up our first 5,000 bottles for sale just for one day and literally sold out in 1 hour. Since then, we kicked it off January 2026. Since then, we've sold over 200,000 bottles worldwide. We're currently selling 1,000 to 2,000 bottles a day, every single day, 7 days a week, all over the world. And our top leaders are making tens of thousands weekly. And again, we have the exact model of how they did that, and we're going to do something that's much bigger here in the next 3 weeks. And let me explain a little bit why this is so big, why this is so unique. The company that we have an agreement with on this product, as you'll see on the next slide, an exclusive agreement. So this is not sold through any other companies through the network marketing industry. They spent over $50 million in research before they even brought it to market, 10 plus years of studies and science, 8 plus published studies, 13 FDA claims that we can make. So often people say, hey, I need to try the product to see if it works. Why does somebody say I need to try the product to see if it works? Because on the nutraceutical side, there isn't companies that spend $50 million and 10 plus years of research before they bring something to market and literally have claims proven that you don't have to say the product might do this, the product can do this. We can say the product does this. It's proven, it's factual, and there's nothing anybody can say about it. And we already have it available in around 80 countries all over the world. What creates this as a massive opportunity is unlike what typically happens in the nutraceutical space. As soon as somebody gets a hot product, everybody jumps on that bandwagon, and most ingredients are readily available all over the world. And so it's pretty easy to copy most products. I've been in the nutrition space, in the network marketing space for over 30 years. We've done almost $6 billion in sales, paid out billions of dollars in commissions in that 30 years. And I can tell you from experience, most of the time, if we see a super hot product, we go to our contract manufacturers, which now, even more exciting, we are the manufacturer. We actually own our own manufacturing company, NSF, SQF, and GMP certified, registered. There's only, or licensed, excuse me, there's less than 1% of contract manufacturers worldwide that have those 3 certifications. We have all 3. And basically what that means is whatever it says is in the product is guaranteed that is in the product. I know that kind of sounds like common sense, but now with Amazon almost getting to the point that they're going to start banning nutraceuticals because there's so much fraud, there's so much copies, there's so much, and even if you've seen some of those exposés going into like Walgreens and buying products off the shelf, sending them to independent labs and seeing that around 80% don't even have what's on the label. So it's very difficult these days to know what you're taking, but I've seen some hot products. And now that we have our own manufacturer, but even before we had our own manufacturer, I'd go to the contract manufacturers and say, hey, is there any way that we could make something like this? Or is it possible to make it even better? And again, that was a strategy that we used for billions of dollars in sales. That's something that is virtually impossible with this product. Not only is it patented, it's all natural, it comes from salmon, and salmon's very unique because it does not have a growing season, that you harvest 3 or 4 times per year. The growing season is 4 to 5 years before they process the salmon and create this raw ingredient. And again, it's very interesting, very exciting when you understand that. And as I mentioned, not only do we have the studies, in addition to that, in the last 7 months, we have testimonial groups such as this that has over 341,000 members around the world, and literally tens of thousands of real testimonials, real people just like you, just like me, that are having the same exact types of results as the studies say. So we already expected what the product would do because they spent tens and tens of millions of dollars on studies, and they have 13 FDA claims. I do not know of one other nutraceutical in the world that you can make 13 FDA claims on it, meaning the product does this, the product does this. It doesn't happen. So many companies get in trouble for their own distributors giving their own personal testimonials because they don't have the proof, they don't have the science to show that that works, and that's what can be expected. Now, not only do we have the studies, not only do we have the FDA claims, we have 341,000 people in a testimonial group and literally tens and tens of thousands of real life testimonials of people benefiting from this product. Now, here's where the exciting piece comes in. These are things that we did not have in November. We actually have created a system that we're so confident that it works, we guarantee that if you follow our system 1 to 2 hours a day, you will be making $10,000 a month by the end of your first year, or we will literally refund all of your money less commissions earned. Absolutely no risk. If you've been sitting back and thinking, man, it would be amazing if somebody had an exact system to follow, they could follow it regardless of their background, skill set, or experience, and they actually guaranteed it. The number one reason the people fail isn't because they're not willing to do anything, isn't because they're just super lazy and don't work or don't do anything. It's because they don't know exactly what to do. And when you're confused and you're scared and you start to think, man, I don't want to say the wrong thing. What if they ask these questions? I don't want to look like an idiot in front of all of these people. So because they're scared, because they don't know what to do, because they don't have the marketing tools, because they don't have an exact system, they kind of end up doing nothing. So it kind of seems like, man, what's wrong with these people? Is everybody really that lazy? Is everybody really just expecting to join something and have all this money? I don't think that's the case. I think people literally just don't know exactly what to do. So they do nothing because they're afraid of making a mistake. They're afraid of doing something wrong. They're afraid of embarrassing themselves. They're afraid of inviting somebody to take a look at an opportunity. Then that person asks them a bunch of questions. They have no idea how to answer them. And then they lose the sales. They lose, everything. They don't have a proven system. They haven't done billions of dollars in sales. They haven't showed people how to make millions of dollars per year. We've done all of that. And having that mentor that's already done it is the absolute most proven way in the world to succeed. Almost every person that is ultra successful in the world has followed somebody else's blueprint. The easiest way to learn and the best way to learn isn't through your own experience, it's through other people's experience. And so what I've done is I've taken my 30 plus years of experience, billions of dollars in sales, plus all of the people that I've met throughout the way and seen what they've done and their ideas that worked even better, put them all together and created a system we're so confident in. I think this is the first time I've ever seen it, that the company literally guarantees a system. And it is something that as a company we can track because we've built it into the back office. Now, this is your chance to actually lock in your position for absolutely free, test everything out, and start building your organization for free for the next 3 weeks or a little bit over so that you have the chance to, again, get that foundation built before the product even launches. And this is the same thing that we did November 1st to November 11th. We allowed people to invite people for free. We did calls like this so that they could get some information. We have a 3.5-minute message that's more than enough information to make a decision for free. Again, you have nothing to lose. And we helped many people make well over $10,000 their very first month because they took advantage of that free position. And I'll show you how this works a little bit. I will talk briefly about the product. I don't want to get into too much information on this call, but this is 3 pathways with GLP. GLP, without question, is the hottest weight loss product in the history of the world. There's been nothing to this time, from the beginning of time to 2026, that has helped people lose weight better than the GLP-1s. That's why it's the #1 selling pharmaceutical in the entire world. It works better than anything else. But what works better than GLP-1 is weight loss. Weight loss is not necessarily what we think it is. Obviously, you get on a scale and it says less than it did before. But when most people are picturing weight loss in their mind, what they're thinking of is fat loss. Weight loss and fat loss are definitely not the same thing. Studies on the GLP-1s are showing that somewhere between 20% all the way to as high as 60% of that weight loss is lean mass. And that's exactly the opposite of what we want. In most cases, you're better off keeping all of that weight on. Like if you have the choice to lose, let's say 100 pounds, and 40 pounds of that is fat, and 60 pounds of that is lean mass. You would be better off with that 100 pounds back on and that 40 pounds of fat back on than losing 60 pounds of lean mass. 100%. You'd be better off. Your chances of having a longer life would be significantly higher with that 100 pounds back on your body. What you want to focus on is not weight loss, it's fat loss. That's where these three pathways come in. We have two more pathways, not only to help be the best weight loss product in the world, but with GIP1, the third pathway that we have here, that helps protect the lean mass. That helps protect that lean muscle. So in the studies, it shows that there was minimal lean mass loss, almost no muscle loss. This is a fat loss product, not a weight loss product. But in addition to that, you have a life-changing pathway, this GLP-2, that lowers inflammation throughout the entire body. Why is that so important? All disease has an inflammatory response. The more they studied it, they're trying to figure out, does disease cause inflammation or does inflammation cause disease? Now they're believing the second. They're believing that the longer that the body is inflamed, the better chance you have of diseases happening. So imagine a product that not only is the best weight loss product in the history of the world, now we have something that protects the lean mass along with that. So now we're saying this is the best fat loss product ever created in the world, and it's an amazing anti-inflammatory to release inflammation throughout the entire body. In addition to that, what about anti-aging? Hair, skin, and nails, actually anti-aging from the inside out, getting rid of wrinkles, skin becoming softer, hair and nails growing faster. Anti-aging, a massive market. Weight loss, massive market. Anti-inflammatory, massive market. What about at the same time it boosts your immune system? Oh, what about the same time it heals your gut? Oh, what about at the same time it helps the body assimilate minerals better and maintain and control your energy throughout the day? And when you realize 100% of diseases can be traced back to mineral deficiencies, the body's ability to assimilate and absorb minerals is as important as anything in your health. Think about that product and the interest that that would have to the 7.5 to 8 billion people around the world. And if you're wondering if there is an interest, obviously there is, because 10% of Americans are already on a GLP-1. GLP-1 from the pharmaceuticals cost well over $1,000 per month. What if there was an option that, again, instead of a single pathway, 100% synthetic, was a triple pathway, 100% natural, at less than 90% of the cost? And then you have the research way, the research peptides, gray area, that's probably going to be shut down within the next 1 or 2 years by the FDA. They've already shut down hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, probably thousands of websites, because there's no control. You don't have any idea what you're getting, and you're injecting complete synthetics into the body, and many people causing irreversible damage because they're so, they want the change so bad. They're so desperate to lose the weight. They're so desperate to feel better. They're literally buying things on websites that they don't know what's in it, where it comes from. It literally says on it, not for human consumption. They're injecting it with a needle into their body and have no clue what it was, and they're spending tens of billions of dollars. Now, 100% natural, 50 million in research, 8+ studies, 13 claims. This has not existed in the world, and we have the exclusive rights. And not only is it 90% less than the pharmaceuticals, it's still well more than 50 to 75% less than the synthetic research peptides that literally say not for human consumption. And hundreds of millions of people are consuming them. Why? Because they want the benefits that they offer, and they're willing to take the risk. How much risk is there in something that's 100% natural, has all the studies? There's no risk. You don't have the side effects. All of the good without the bad. And now we add to that something that I think is actually more important, And that's a product called Be More that's helping you understand how the entire world works and how to get anything that you want out of life. We go through the exact formula of transformation. Everything in the world starts with a dream or an idea. All the technology that we have, everything that we have in this world came from the world. Think about that. Just think about the food that we eat. Who was the first person to figure out these recipes? Who was the first person to try and eat some of these animals? Who was the first person to try and eat some of these plants and vegetation? Who was the first person to think of an idea of flying an airplane? I mean, who's the first person to think, you know what, I think I could get several hundred tons of metal to float on the water, and we could build entire cities on the water. And I think I could get something that weighs, tons and tons and tons. I don't even know what an airplane weighs, but I think we could get something that weighs, 100 tons or whatever it weighs, and fill it up with hundreds of people and fly it in the air around the world. And we could make it out of the stuff that's just on the earth, out of the stuff that we see when we're out in the wilderness, and the cell phones and all that technology. Every single thing in life, somebody that's in great shape, somebody that makes a lot of money, everything in life starts with a dream or idea, then an exact game plan of how you're going to achieve that dream and idea, then consistency to follow the plan, discipline, and resilience. That's how everything, and that's how you get anything that you want out of life. First, you got to know what you want, then work out a game plan on how you're going to do it, then be consistent, disciplined, and resilient. And we have a product that is proven. It's not us saying this is a fact. It is proven to help you become more consistent, disciplined, and resilient. And if you're looking at finances and if you're looking to have complete time freedom, we already have the plan. All you have to do is come up with exactly what you want in life, and we'll help you get it. Not only do we have the hottest product in the history of the world, we also have the most needed product in the history of the world. Human beings are not resilient at all. As soon as one little thing goes wrong, 99% of humans quit. They just give up. Oh, this happened, and they become victims of their circumstances. When you think about it, it's absolutely pathetic how unresilient humans are, how often they give up on their dreams. One little thing, they're done. If everything doesn't go perfect, they quit. 100% of successful people are disciplined, consistent, resilient, know what they want, have a game plan of how to do it. We help you do the same thing. And we do it through 4 modules. First, brainwave entrainment. Again, decades and decades of research. Almost 100% of professional athletes right now are using brainwave entrainment. Almost 100% of the highest producing CEOs around the world are using brainwave entrainment. U.S. military, special forces, FBI, all brainwave entrainment. Basically what it is it gives you the ability to control your brain and your thoughts instead of your stress, anxiety, and fears controlling your thoughts. How to be if you're the one in control instead of all of your fears and anxiety being in control. And then we have just things simple as a gratitude journal. Harvard did a study with well over 100,000 participants that proved just something as simple as a gratitude journal is life-changing physically, mentally, physiologically within 1 week. They did brain scans of people who were just simply writing down 3 to 4 things a day that they're grateful for, and the physiology in the brain completely changed within 1 week. They followed them longer, and they noticed that the health changed. 15 to 20% less cardiovascular disease just by changing the way that you think. Then you go into movement and exercise. There's so many studies on movement and exercise. We all know that we need to do it, but most people don't. There's a recent study that they're comparing the benefits of exercise to the most popular antidepressants. And they're looking at every single, the factor of the antidepressant compared to exercise, and exercise beat it in every single one of the markers. Meaning that exercise works better than the pharmaceutical antidepressants that tens and tens and tens of millions of people are on. Again, all synthetic, all kinds of side effects. It could be just as easy as moving a little bit, getting out of the house, getting some fresh air, getting some sunlight. And then we go into breath work. Again, study after study after study, showing that you can have the same type of stem cell creation inside your own body just from breath holds and breathing certain ways, then you can go and spend $15,000 to $20,000 at a clinic. Your body is designed to heal itself. It has everything that you need. When you learn to use some of these tools to control your stress, to control your anxiety, to sleep better, to have more energy, just to deal with life, what? To be more resilient. If you want to be successful and you want to have the opportunity to live the life you deserve, you have to be resilient. It's just a fact. Now, with that, we're doing some things that we've never done. As we mentioned, in 7 months, we have people go from zero to getting close to 100,000 a month in commissions. Now we're paying what we call 2 lifestyle bonuses. We can show you how to make up to anywhere from about $1,000 to $1,400 with this view as 20 to 30 people in your group with nobody spending more than $100 a month. Doing car giveaways every 6 months. As mentioned, we have the 10K guarantee. We have a retail program that pays 50% instant pay. So if you sell something that costs $100, you make $50 instantly. There's no waiting for it. As soon as it sells, it goes into your wallet. And again, we get much more in depth on this, but this isn't that important right now because all of this takes care of itself. I'm going to show you how this works in a strategy that you can use here in just a second. But again, guaranteed business system, exact proven strategies, assignments with due dates and accountability, exact launch within your first 48 hours. So there's nothing left to the imagination. You don't have to come up with any ideas. It's all proven. You just got to follow the system. It's like following a recipe. If we have all the ingredients, you have the oven, you have everything you need, and then you have the recipe, somebody with no cooking experience, as long as it's a basic recipe, can probably have very similar success. And we could give it to 100 people and go and test all of them, and they're going to be very similar. Exact daily plan of action, again, takes less than 2 hours a day, and we have a $10,000 guarantee. So let me just walk you through this a little bit. And what we're talking about right now is 100% free, no obligation, nothing. But whether it's free or not, there's a similar goal, and we're just going right here with 3 simple steps. The goal here is to find 4 people that want to change their life. They want to understand how to get everything they want out of life. They want to understand how the mind works. They want to understand how to be more consistent, more disciplined, more resilient. They want the number one, proven weight loss product, and specifically fat loss product in the history of the world. There's never been anything like this. That's why it's the number one selling pharmaceutical in just a couple of years. That's why it's expected to still, double or triple in the next 3 or 4 years. And we have a 100% natural patented product, as already mentioned, all of the things about it. Triple pathway. The triple pathway does not exist in the pharmaceuticals. They only have the single pathway, which is fantastic for weight loss, but not necessarily for fat loss. So you want to find 4 people. There's no timeline, but let's just say that, just for instance, that it takes 1 month's time. They want to do the same thing. So you find 4, and they find 4. I'm not going to go through each step of here, but this is exactly how the compensation plan works. And the great thing about this, you don't have to understand the compensation plan. You just say, and you don't even have to get 4. It works with 2. We're just showing just kind of an average. We have what we call the lifestyle bonus. You can go with 2, 3, 4, or 5. We just kind of picked in the middle, 4. And I'm showing you how this works. So you get 2 people on the left, 2 people on the right. $100 product is 80 CV, so it's 160 in CV. You'd make $12.80 in the 2-team pay. As they got 4 each, that's 16 more. 8 on the left, 8 on the right. 640 in volume. That's $51.20, $12.80 in a check match. $750 bonus. You'd be making about 826 people. This is with 20 people in your organization. And again, this is if you had no upline, you have no help, it's only you. This would only exist for 1 person in the entire company. As soon as there's 1 person above you that's following this system, it's not all on you, and the income can double or triple with you doing the same amount of work. And so this is kind of what you're looking at, worst case scenario. No help, nobody doing anything like this in the upline, just you and everything in the company starting from you. Now, as this continues, those 16 each get 4, those which turns into 64. Those 64 get 4, which turns into 226. Your income with just 1 more step, we just duplicate that 1 time, you're looking at about $3,000 per month. Literally, $3,000 per month or $2,900 per month will put you in the top 1% income earners in the entire world. If you look at, there's around 7.5 billion to 8 billion people in the world. you would be making more than 99% of them if you could just take a simple group of 20, you get 4 and help them get 4, duplicate that one more time. You are literally now making more than 99% of the world. Now, not 99% of the United States. The United States is the largest economy in the entire world. In fact, you can almost put every other worldwide economy and it's barely, take out the other like 3 big ones, and we're bigger than all the other countries combined. And so in the US, you might have to make 4, 5, 6 million to be in the top 1%. In the world, it's 34,000 a year. You'd be making more than 99% of the world if you can just take 4 people that want to learn how to get everything they want out of life, that want to have the hottest product that has ever been in existence, and an exact guaranteed marketing system that as long as you fail it, you have nothing to risk. Worst case scenario, you get your money back, and you still get to keep the amazing products and the knowledge that we gave you. It's not like you get your money back and have to return the product. There is no risk to this entire opportunity. You duplicate it one more time, $55,000 per month. The reason I stopped at only 3, literally, we're taking 4 who get 4, a small group of 20. We're duplicating that 2 times, 55,000 per month. If I went one more time, it's over 500,000 per month. This is something that every single person can do. And what does it cost? Basically, it doesn't cost anything. There's no sign-up fee. And everything's guaranteed. You simply buy a product that is already 50 to 75% less than the research peptides that are 100% synthetic, literally say not for human consumption, and are selling tens of billions of dollars per year. 50 to 70% less, 90% less than the pharmaceuticals that are selling around 140 billion per year. We have the same studies with none of the side effects. And then we add to that a product that is proven to show you how every single person that has become successful in the world became successful. The same strategies and the same knowledge that they had in order to do it. And we're giving you the secret. And if you buy 2 packs for $130, we're giving you Be More for free. So not only are you getting the product at a significant discount, now you're getting the mental part, the whole thing that I think is the most important part of your success for free. So $100 option, $130 option, and all of it guaranteed, absolutely no risk, and proven. And basically all we've done is we've taken the product that we already launched and an extract, put it into a powder. So now it's much easier to sample. It's much easier to sell 3 and 5 day supplies. And it's what all of the studies were done on. So you can take the exact doses that are done in the studies to find out of these 13 FDA claims, are there any of them that would improve your health and improve your life? And then you can look at that study and say, well, how much of the product did they take? You take that same amount, because now you have the exact same form that they did the studies in. And this has created the biggest opportunity that I've ever seen in my 30 years of doing this for a living. And we've created some massive products that have changed lives and done billions and billions of dollars of sales all over the world. Now it's your turn. So in closing, first and most important, I want to thank you for your time, and I want to thank you for at least being open enough that you took 35 minutes of your time to at least find out about some options. Because the only way that you can change your life is through opportunity. Opportunity has to be present for change to happen. The other thing that I'd like you to do, since I thanked all of you, I would like you to thank the person that thought enough about you to invite you to this opportunity so you could find out if this is something that you would be interested in to change your life. If we could help you make an extra $10,000 a month, that's the only thing I'm talking about, even though we have people making 10 times that. If we could just help you make an extra $10,000 a month, would that solve any of your problems? Think about that. I'm talking directly to you. Would $10,000 a month solve some of your problems? And would that be important enough to you that if you had an exact system to follow, step-by-step instructions, that you would spend an hour to 2 a day following that if a company was so confident in it that they had guaranteed it? If the answer is yes, then you're definitely going to want to upgrade. If you're not quite sure yet, you have nothing to lose to get positioned for free. Get some more information. Find out some more. We're doing a Super Saturday call on this Saturday, June 20th, 10 a.m. to I think 11:30 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. So that'd be 12 p.m. to 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time. We're going to be doing that all over the world. I think we're doing it in 4 or 5 different languages, simultaneous translation. So again, get back to the person who invited you. They can give you the links and the information on that. And again, as I mentioned, thank you for your time. Please thank the person that invited you. And if this is something you're interested in, don't even think twice. Go in, take some action, sign up for free, listen to that 3-minute message, try and pre-build your team, because it's going to be much easier to get to that 10,000 if you can get your 4 in the next couple of days and they can get their 4. Again, we're only repeating 3 steps. And then the 4th of July comes and they start ordering. Even if you fail 80%, you fail 80% of just those 3 simple steps, you'll still make more than 10,000 at the kickoff on the 4th of July. You fail 80%, you'll still make more than 10,000 on the kickoff on the 4th of July. Would $10,000 reduce some of the stress in your life? The answer is yes. Why in the world wouldn't you do it? Again, thanks for your time. Clayvon, I'll go ahead and turn it back to you to close.
Hey, listen, that was awesome. Not much more to say. Thank you, Dan, on behalf of the abundance of people from around the world, 3 different continents on this Zoom. We thank you for your servant leadership. Hey, listen, champions, we're going to run this back. This is Monday. On Wednesday in 48 hours, same Zoom link, same exact time in your time zone. I advise you get your 4 people on this Zoom, right? And we are growing. We're going to build the largest sales team in the history of the world behind 2 revolutionary products. Hey, let's close out. We'll see you on Wednesday night with a team. Let's go. Thank you, Mr. Putnam. This Zoom is officially over.